everyone, it's Connor back from This Old Farm, and today we're in the shop here. We're all alone, there's no Ricky around, and well, we're going to work on the M a little bit. So today is Friday the, what the heck is it? It's Friday the 9th, and it is the day when Mr. Rick Bork is headed off to Florida to visit Luke Strasser. Those of you guys that watch Rick's channel, you all know that story. So before he left, we pulled in Mr. Marte the M here, and if you remember a while back, kind of August, yeah, it was about August, we were running the hay rake with Marte at the previous farm that we were at, and all of a sudden there was a loud bang crunch, and tractor started dying, and well, I quick hit the kill switch too, but tractor was dying. We dug into it and found out that our cam gear in here is kind of no longer with us. So over here on the Super Pug, we've got some bits and pieces. We have a front oil seal. There's a front cover gasket inside of this big box here that we got from Case IH. It was originally going to go on the Super M, and then of course that turned into the Super M turned into the rebuild that Kenny Kizzle did. And then inside of this box here, we've got distributor or hydraulic pump, distributor drive or hydraulic pump gasket, and then we've got our cam gear down there. So we're going to go through, and in the course of the next couple of days while Rick is gone, we are going to work on taking the front bolster, pulling that. We're going to try and create a cradle to use as scissor lift to hold the tractor up. We'll pull the front bolster off using the crane, the gantry up over there. We'll drag it up to here, pull the bolster off, pull the front cover, and then of course do all the other, pull off the crank pulley and all the other stuff that is necessary to get into the insides there so we can replace our cam gear. And being that we've had this issue, this M, now those of you that aren't familiar with the letter series stuff, basically when International introduced their live hydraulic pump here on the Super M series, so the series after this one, they updated, they found that the camshaft and cam gear were not strong enough to withstand the force that this hydraulic pump was putting on it, because this hydraulic pump is driven by the cam gear. So they went through and updated the cam gear, camshaft, cam gear, yeah, I said that right, and introduced a heavier cam gear and a reverse thread camshaft for the gear on the front. So when you use these pumps on the Farmall tractors, you kind of wanted to have that updated gear and camshaft in order to withstand the forces that this pump puts on them. This M, now while it does have a replacement block, this block is a replacement block. You can see it's got this little cut, this bump out here for a dipstick, and on the other side there's a block off plate for a pump, because back in the day when International made replacement engine blocks, they made them for everything. The letter series, row crops, the W series, the crawler series, and their stationary engine power unit series. And so that's why there's different bits and pieces on these. So that's how we know that this block has been replaced. But when they did the replacement, they didn't update the cam and cam gear. So we're going to go through, we're going to tear into this. I'm debating on removing this pump altogether. I haven't exactly decided yet what I'm going to do, because if I remove this pump, I'll remove that force, and then it's okay with our cam gear. Is the replacement cam gears that Steiner sells are the updated ones, but the camshaft is still going to be that old style with the regular threads. We're assuming, I am assuming. Now, we'll find out when we get into this, but assuming that the cam gear hasn't been updated, well, I know that the cam gear's not been updated, so with knowing that information, I'm assuming that the camshaft hasn't been updated as well. So, we're going to tear into this. Like I say, we'll find out some stuff, and that might decide whether this tractor is going to get to keep its live hydraulic system, or if we're going to go right back to the belly pump system, because I do have that Parts M that I bought from Cody, Endergaard Farms. We bought from him, and we do have the ability to return back to that system, because of course it's missing its pieces and stuff, so we can we'd have to rob some pieces off of the Parts M to return back to that system. But yeah, we're gonna find out what's gonna happen here, how things are gonna work out, yeah, we gotta dive in. So I'm gonna start with removing the sheet metal, the hood, and the grill, and that'll kind of get us down into the main system. And then we'll probably pull the hydraulic unit with the distributor off of the tractor, and then we'll kind of see where we're gonna go from there. We do have to dump the coolant again, which kind of sucks because we just put that in before the cam gear went out on it, because we had the whole ordeal with the radiator. But yeah, we're gonna start working on this thing. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Stay tuned. Well, last night, today is Saturday, yesterday was Friday, when we made the last clip there, and well, we kind of hammered down and got some stuff done, and well, there's where we're at now. There's where the M is at. So obviously we got the front bolster pulled away. We used the gantry crane for that, and we're kind of working on tearing down the front end a little bit. I got to remove this piece which basically attaches or connects the impeller to the rest of the fan system here. So we have to remove the fan, which means you have to remove this. This is stuck, so I'm going to try just taking these bolts loose and see where I can get from there. And then we have to turn down to here, and we have to drive this pin that's going across out. Of course, there's a stupid little set screw there stuck, and it looks like somebody else has had the same issue, and well, you can see there they just hammered it through. So we'll see what we can do there. Then we gotta knock the lock washer flat, and then take that nut off and pull the pulley. Once we get the pulley and the fan off, then we can start working on removing bolts for the front cover there and get the front cover off. So I know I kind of didn't do, kind of ruined it for you guys, I guess, so to speak, by getting all of this done without turning on the camera. But like I said, I got into it last night and just kind of put my head down and started going at it. So we'll try and do a little bit more filming here, and maybe see what we can get, or maybe we'll just keep doing this little update stuff for you guys. We'll see where we end up. But yeah, I guess either way, you guys will find out in a minute. Well, there it is. There's our issue. Cam gear's broke. You can see there's the center of it still on the camshaft. It marred up the front engine plate a little bit. There you can see. But everything else on the front of the engine, as far as gears go, the crank gear, the idler gear, and the distributor gear, those all survived. There's a little bit of a mess inside of the front cover still, but for the most part, I think as long as we can get the nut off the cam, and get the hub of the our brokenness here. As long as we can get that taken out, we'll be doing okay, I think. So that's what it kind of should look like. Of course, we got the the new one, which is in the box, which really shows what it should look like that. But you'll notice if I grab this gear, you can notice the thickness of that one compared to the thickness of that one. This is the early style gear. This is the -D number, where I believe the new one is just, or the updated style was just 6760. It might have been a -B, now that I think of it. But yeah, there's our old gear. There's the front of our tractor. Let's get her finished out with taking that off and then start putting her back together. Well, little progress update here again for you guys. So on the last little clip there, we had the pieces of the cam gear laying on the floor, and we still had to get the center portion of that cam gear off. Well, a little while later, we've got a brand new cam gear on our camshaft. Now, I had some difficulties. The first trouble I had was I rounded off the cam nut there. You can kind of see it's all kind of screwed up and messed up there, and so that was kind of the first of our difficulties. I actually had to take it, I had an 1.5 inch socket on it. That rounded it off, so I kind of filed and ground and did some stuff and brought it down to a what the heck was it now? 1 3/8 size socket. Got that on there. So we have the cam gear on. Now you can see behind it that lock washer is kind of messed up as well. I know you're not supposed to reuse lock washers, but it's getting reused. What I ended up having to do when I went to take the hub off, of course there's not enough left on the edges and stuff to grab with the whatchamacallit, the puller. So I took the grinder over there and I ground a couple of notches on either side of the center of the gear so that the teeth had something to actually kind of grab onto, because you can see they're kind of fat teeth. So I ground into the gear, or the center of the gear, because of course, this ain't doing us anything anymore. So kind of doesn't matter what you do with it. So like I say, ground into it, then the teeth had something to grab onto, and we pulled it off the camshaft. Now, my suspicions were right. This isn't the updated camshaft as well. On the updated ones, they went through and the threads on the camshaft are actually left-handed threads. On this one, they're standard, so righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Whereas on a left-handed thread, it's lefty-loosey, righty, or lefty-tighty, righty-loosey. It's not your standard threading. So we've got that, and I'm really heavily on the debate of whether I should if I should go back to the standard, go back to the belly pump or not. I'm undecided on what I want to do there, because in all reality, now we've updated the gear so that's the heavier gear ready for the pump, but now we have the issue of the camshaft isn't, and it's kind of one of them things where, what does the guy want to do? I could take and put a couple spots of weld on here, or a bead of weld, and then I don't have to worry about that nut coming loose. I don't know what I want to do exactly, and that may be the route I go. Put a bead of weld on here, because should come the time when this thing needs to be rebuilt, we're probably going to put a new camshaft in it anyways, so that it's up to updated. It's to the what it should be. So that may be the route I go, and then we can keep our live hydraulic system on this tractor. But I gotta go through and clean up this nut a little bit so that I can fold the fold-over lock down. Not that that's probably gonna help us much anyways. And then I have to go through and clean the front plate of the front engine plate here and get that ready to be, put the new gasket on and ready to be installed and put back together and everything. So we also have to go through and on the front cover here we have to, for one thing, clean it up. We got the chipped gear teeth that are in it still, and then I also have to remove the seal in that rides where the crank pulley is, the front seal there, front main seal, and I got a new one of those to put in. I think I showed you guys that earlier. Just because I figured as long as I'm in here I might as well do it now. So we're going to go through and do that. I got to clean the gasket off of this side too, because of course it ripped and teared and did what it wanted to and whatever. So yeah, we're going to go through and get things cleaned up here, get ready to go, replace that seal, and start on to the rebuild, I guess, or the reinstallation, or however you want to put it. So yeah, that's where we're at. Well, we've made a bit of progress. We got the front cover on, we got the bolster put back on, we've got it set back on the ground, the radiator's hooked back up, it's full of antifreeze, we got the steering arm put back on. Everything's about ready to go. I dumped the oil out just to be sure that there's no dirt and junk in it, being that the oil change that was on it was pretty fresh, so I'm just going to leave the oil filter. I was going to rewire it, but I think I'm going to let it go for now, and then if I get time yet this weekend, I'll do it. I do have to check, I have to rearrange my firing order here because it's not true anymore. And yeah, so we have to reconnect one wire here to the down to the resistor, but other than for that, yeah, it's about ready to fire back up. Ooh, kind of scary. Well, it's quite a while later, and the M got itself some nice new wiring. All nicely wrapped up in wire loom, following the wire holders down behind the tank all the way up to over to here, up into the junction box, and then of course, the miscellaneous things that it needs. It still needs new battery cables. That's on the to-do list, and I need to put a new ballast resistor on it because it's well, you can see maybe there's a crack there. I accidentally cracked it when I was tightening down that one screw there, but we're gonna give it a go here, see if she'll fire up for us. Alright, here goes nothing. It runs, but we still got wiring issues. Still got wiring issues. Well, believe it or not, it's like 2-3 months later. What was that? That was December, I think, those clips you just watched. So, it's been quite a while since we made them stuff up. So, of course, that was back when Rick took his vacation in Florida. It's now February. And, well, not much progress has been made. There sits the tractor up here. I pulled it out, whatever, I don't remember what night it was. One of them nights back then. I pulled it out because I needed to do stuff to my truck. And here he sat. So, where you guys saw him last, we, I think, I don't remember now what I did. I think I changed the spades around on the alternator because I remember this happening once. So we had issues where when we started it, the switch wasn't acting right. Well, it's because the alternator was backfeeding through the system and running the point system. So I had this issue last spring when I had done the radiator stuff, and I had to pull the alternator off, and I didn't remember what way the spades went, so I put the spades on. Well, like I say, that alternator's backfeeding through the system and allowing the ignition switch not to work. So I think I went through and switched the spades on the alternator. I can't remember now if I did or not, but that's why we couldn't get the freaking tractor shut off, and that's why I had to jump off and pull the coil wire. But I don't know when Marty's going to get back to it, so I'm going to end the video and put it out for you guys to have something to watch. So thanks for watching, I guess. Sorry we didn't get an actual startup of it, but we'll get an actual, I'll walk in the sun. We'll get an actual startup here eventually. I don't know when, but eventually there we'll get a startup for you guys. So anyways, until then, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys all next time.